Hey guys, welcome back. This is Shanna here at Making Everyday Magic. If you have been following along on our curriculum reviews and unboxings for the upcoming school year, then you know that this next school year, the 2020 to 2021 school year, we are going to be homeschooling 2 kids now. So we'll have a 3rd grader and a little one who's in pre-K. This video is going to be about our plans for science. If you have watched any of my previous videos about either our 2nd grade curriculum review video or our upcoming 3rd grade unboxing videos, then you may have noticed that there is no science in our 3rd grade kit. If you saw the review of our 2nd grade kit, then you know that building blocks of science just wasn't our favorite. This past year was really our first year of what my husband and I have called going rogue. We've gone completely unaccredited. In the past, we used a program that was through Texas Tech University, and it was a distance-based learning program. So it was essentially a public school curriculum, and they told us what to do. For this past year and going forward, we have been using a Timberdoodle curriculum kit. They're non-religious curriculum kits. And so last year was our first year of using their secular science choice, which was the building blocks of science. We just didn't love it. It has kind of a lot of pieces, and it just didn't really resonate very well with our daughter. I think maybe part of that was that instead of mastering too much of it, it gives you just a little bit of so many things. I think there are a great deal of things she would have liked to go much deeper into and things that interest her. So in looking ahead to this coming school year, when we will be schooling 2 kiddos, I definitely wanted to take the opportunity and to try out doing something a little bit differently for science, something that hopefully we could do with both girls, do it as more of a family subject. So today's video is going to be all about what we're going to plan to do for our science. Now, if at any point we're in over our heads, I will log on and order a science curriculum and call it done. If there is one thing that I'm super, super good at doing, it is recognizing when I need to cut the cord and quit. I believe it is very much a lost art, and too many people get bogged down and stuck instead of just saying, this doesn't work. No shame in it. I'm going to move on. I'm going to go back to what we did before. And that's okay. So I'm going to give myself that grace. We are going to try this. We are going to do our best to stay honest with ourselves and move on if it's not serving us best. So before we get into what we're going to talk about today, please scroll down and hit that big red subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that you like what we are giving you. Thank you very much. So, what we have done this year is we did not get, in our Timberdoodle kit, we did not get science. So we decided to omit I'm looking for it here in the handbook so I can show you what I'm not going to show you. Okay, so we decided to omit the building blocks of science, which is what comes in the 3rd grade secular non-religious curriculum kit. So we chose to not get that. We did get, I believe, all of the supplemental science and STEM activities pre-K for our youngest one. We did not get the experiments kit. We did get the Berenstain Bears Big Book because I love anything that relates to a character they know. As far as I'm concerned, you are instantly better off and they are instantly more entertained if you can link what they are learning to something or someone they already know. They are already in, they are invested. So what I did, in looking at our curriculum kits and deciding that building blocks of science wasn't going to serve us best. We should try something new. I got onto Amazon. I went on to Rainbow Resource, timberdoodle.com. I started looking around and really trying to find something that I felt was going to speak best to us. And this is hard. You secular homeschoolers know how hard it is to find secular curriculum, especially in homeschool science. It is near impossible. There are just not many options. So in my searching around, I found this Scholastic kit. Now this one is grades 1 through 3. They then have, I believe, a 4 through 6. So let me show you what this is. Okay, so what this is, and I believe it is actually designed for a classroom set. So it's got the directions on how to use it. If you pop it out, there's these little folders in here. Okay, so there's these folders. And what they do is they are actually sorted into 3 different science categories. Okay, so you've got earth science, physical science, life science. And there's a handy dandy chart on the back here to show you as well. So you've got earth science, physical science, life science. And each one of these has 5 of these little folders. So each one of the 3 each one of the 3 types of science studies has 5 of these little folders. Now, these little folders are like a kind of a heavy plasticky style of paper. And when you open them up, they are glossy. So we can write on these with a dry erase marker. So my plan is to write and draw right on here. So it has like your little introduction of what you're going to talk about in the science unit. And then if you come over here, each one of these pages, these data sheets, it comes with 2. And it has, and these are all the same, so I'm just going to take out 1. It has 5 individual copies, so each one of my girls will be able to have one. Again, pretty sure this is the classroom set of a thing produced by Scholastic. And it has task cards, and there's a task 1 on one side and a task 2 on the other side, and these are both experiments. So it tells you, it introduces the lesson here. It gives you 2 experiments here, and then it gives you these data sheets to fill in and talk about the principles that you're learning from your experiments. If that's not enough, this kit comes with a code. You can log on to scholastic.com, and there are informative videos tailor-made for each one of these lessons that you can go and click on. So my plan is to introduce the topic and watch the video on one day. And again, we're going to do this entirely as a family, is the goal. Now here on the background is it tells you hints and other information that may be helpful to your experiments and for success. Okay, so we have in this Scholastic kit, there are 15 of these different folders and packets with broken down into the 3 kinds of science. Each one of them has 2 experiments. So there are 30 different hands-on investigations with the printed introductions and things and the online resource videos. So right there, this could be a great 30-week plan for science. Could be great for that. But I kept looking around. And for my daughter, in the past, we have used for building thinking skills and daily writing traits. We've had several things that were included in our 2nd grade kit from Timberdoodle from the company Evan Moore. Now, I found this book not through Timberdoodle. I found this book on Amazon, and it is geared right for 3rd grade. So it's called Science Lessons and Investigations. Right now, both of my kids are obsessed with solving crimes, being investigators. She's got like a trench coat she wears. This is exactly what she needs right now. This is right up their alley. So they're not going to be necessarily scientists. They're going to be, the way that I'm going to present this to them is investigations. So their job is going to be finding out how to solve these problems and answer these questions. So this says science, lessons and investigations for grade 3. The back of this is 30 hands-on investigations geared towards science. So this book goes through and it presents all of the lessons in this book in a 5-step model. Observe, analyze, investigate, model, and then apply what you've learned. So in flipping through this to the table of contents, I have realized that, guess what, guys? Not even on purpose, I'm accidentally doing unit studies in this science thing, because this has physical science, life science, and earth science in my big scholastic kit. Guess what? This is broken down for grade 3, life science, earth science, physical science. So my plan is to go through these lessons and to figure out which ones are going to go with these folder lessons. And therefore, we'll get our 30 lessons, right, to complete a school year. So 30 lessons of science. I'm going to break it down into 10-week segments. So we'll have 3 unit studies for science: life science, earth science, and physical science. In this book, it tells you how it breaks it down. There are teacher pages right in the book. There are unit concept pages where you introduce what you're going to be learning, similar to the read-alouds from these folders. Then there's an explore activity, which is going to be your experiments and things that you're doing. So depending on which experiment I like better here and which one suits the family, I will choose that one when getting to that lesson. Then there's a reading selection to tell you how it applies to the world. And then there's concept vocabulary and vocabulary review. Now the vocabulary pages we're going to do probably only with my older kid as far as memorizing them or being able to retain any of that information. With my younger one, we will probably read the definition and go over it together as a family. This book also has concept comprehension, where they are going to answer questions partway through the lesson about what they've learned so far. They have writing prompts so that they can write, use their writing skills in order to process and explain back to you what they've learned. It has projects to do and then an answer key. So my plan is to go through for each one of the things each lesson that we're going through here, and then to come back and to figure out exactly which lesson applies to which unit in this book and which folder in this box. But we are not done yet. Turns out the Berenstain Bears Big Book of Science. So in flipping through this book, it's actually broken down into 3 smaller books. And so it's called the Big Book of Science and Nature, okay? But it starts with the Berenstain Bears Almanac, which is about holidays, seasons, weather, all the things that would happen in a year in bear country. So if you zip through, the very next book in this 3-part collection is actually, and I will share it as soon as I find it. It's way back here. Let's see. It is the Nature Guide. So almost everything small bears and kids need to know about animals, plants, and the earth itself. Flip back to the very last book in the 3-part, and it is the Science Fair: Machines and How They Work, the Science of Matter, Actual Facts About Energy, Projects and Experiments. So in flipping through this book, turns out that everything in here breaks down into physical science, earth science, and life science. So my plan is to go through these books, figure out whatever lesson it is we're going to do first, and then figure out how the folder and the online video link to the vocabulary and the work here, and also how we can incorporate the Berenstain Bears book to read together as a family. So my plan is to do the projects together, vocabulary, and all the read-alongs together. Vocabulary retention, any kind of thing that we do with that, maybe matching the words to the definition. I can type something up quickly or just, cut them out and have her physically match the cards. That's going to be reserved, I think, for just my big girl. Any extended writing prompts or anything that she thinks is going to happen, we'll talk about with our pre-K, but expect our third grader to be writing down. So once I realized that everything I have acquired here is still broken down into those 3 science topics, guys, right here on the back of these folders is a little purple square. Guess what? It tells you things like the next generation science standards, and it tells you that this covers growth and development of organisms. Well, guess what? This book right here, when you go to the table of contents, it has the name of the lesson. And then if you come over here next to it, there's a column of the science concept that it is teaching you. The very first one, growth and development of organisms. It's gonna be that easy to put these together. So we are inadvertently and accidentally doing a 30-week, 3-unit study. That's the plan for our science. And I will come back and I will update you on how this is going. I have yet to sit down and really figure out, literally which folder is going to go with which, unit in this book, which will coincide with specifically which pages in this book. But I think it's going to come together really nicely. This is entirely accidental. I did not realize that all of the 3 science topics were going to be reinforced through all 3 of the things that I have purchased separately. So I'm very excited that it does seem like these are going to go together so well. Fingers crossed this works out. I need something easy. I need something I can do projects, experiments, all of those things together as a family, because I'm gonna need my pre-K-er really engaged. And as far as things that she's doing on her own, reading this book about science isn't gonna be enough, in my opinion. But her being able to work with her sister, watch videos about it, really engage with us in the little bit of higher level experiments, really doing that, I feel like is definitely going to reinforce some of these things for her. I'm very excited about this. I did have the option to do 4 through 6, but being that my big girl is in 3rd grade, I thought the grade level 1 through 3 on the Scholastic kit was gonna be the best bet for us, especially trying this out. Now we have 30 weeks to get through these things, and I think that it will be plenty of time. Like I said, I'm gonna shoot for a folder every 2 weeks. So 10 weeks on each unit and apply these things as needed. For the most part, my littlest one is, it's going to be the read alouds, the watch togethers, and the experiments. Whereas my big kid is going to be expected to do a little bit more, the concept pages, the vocabulary, the thinking ahead to tell me her prediction on what's going to happen, and then really being able to reiterate to me what has happened in our experiences and in our investigations and in our lessons. So I'm really looking forward to this. I feel like I haven't checked yet, but I need to check. In our Timberdoodle kit came a kind of end of year exam book to make sure that you're ready, because in a lot of states, end of year exams are required, whereas they are not here in Texas. So I need to check. I haven't compared what my plan is against those kind of end of year tests to make sure that we're covering enough things. So that's next. And then physically mapping out what goes to what. I need to do this in order to sit down and really bust out my Timberdoodle scheduler and get my scheduled plan for the upcoming 2020-2021 school year. And I really need to get on that because I'm pretty sure we'll be starting August 1 and today is July 1. So I need to get planning. So I just wanted to pop over and share with you because I have had so many questions about what my plan for science is. And somehow, I guess my plan is accidentally doing unit studies, which I've been interested about in the past, but we've not done. So I'm very excited that we're going to be able to go a little bit deeper into some of these things. And some things just in our life already apply to this. We, this summer, have had milkweed and monarch butterflies in our yard. Like, we built a whole like butterfly farm. I'm really excited to share that video with you guys coming up. But that plays perfectly into life science. And, we provided a great animal habitat. And so, the kids have been helping us take care of the plants and doing the things that the caterpillars need to survive. So I'm really excited to be able to go a little bit deeper into some of these things. And I think that by choosing this method, it's not only going to be more entertaining for our kids, it's going to help us out so much if they're doing these things together, but I'm also really excited. So as you know, anything you can be excited about, your kids can be excited about, it's going to start off on the right foot, and we are excited and enthusiastic to get going with this. So if it works well, I'm going to do an update. I'll try to do an update maybe halfway through the first unit to give you guys an idea of how it's going and if we are just giving up and jumping ship. Hopefully it's going to be good. I'm super excited, and I will try to share some video of me actually sitting down and figuring out which pages are going to go with which lessons. But I wanted to go ahead and share, when I figured this out the other day, that it's the same 3 science topics there. I just couldn't believe it that they're reiterated through all different things that I purchased separately. So I'm super excited to share. I'm going to link these things down below so that if you are interested in them, you can at least find them. So thanks for coming back. Thanks for joining us on our secular homeschool journey here at Making Everyday Magic. Again, my name is Shanna, and I would greatly appreciate it if you scroll down and hit that big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications so that you can be the first one to find out when we have new crazy coincidences to share. Please share if you have any great secular science things to share. Please share them in the comments below. It's so hard to find. Everyone I know, secular science is the struggle. So hopefully this goes well and I can share fun tidbits and updates as our progress goes on. Thanks so much. And what's really good is if we read one of these at the beginning of each different unit, if we're then referencing pieces of each one in the other units, I think it will help it stay really cohesive. Okay, now, science fair. So this is currently our 3-piece, 3-unit study program for science that we accidentally stumbled into. Got it all written down. I need to make it prettier and figure out how we're going to incorporate that into our Timberdoodle scheduler, but I am confident that we can.